الله الرحمن الرحيم أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين فذلك الذي يدعو اليتيم ولا يحض على طعام المسكين فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين هم يراءون ويمنعون الماعون صدق الله العلي العظيم.
جزاكم الله.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Peace and blessings of Allah be upon you all. I shall now read the English translation of chapter 107, Surah Al-Maun. In the name of Allah, the gracious, the merciful. Hast thou seen him who rejects religion? That is the one who drives away the orphan and urges not feeding of the poor. So woe to those who pray but are unmindful of their prayer. They like to be seen of men and withhold legal alms.
For those welcoming remarks and your commitments to inclusivity and diversity in your region. So our first speaker for this evening is Maulana Sayyid Muhammad Rizvi. Since 1996, Maulana Rizvi has been the chief imam of the Islamic Shia Ithna Shari Jamaat of Toronto and the resident alim and imam of the Jafri Islamic Center. He's here tonight to speak to us about the role of fasting in self-discipline and moral integrity. Welcome to the stage, Maulana Rizvi.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I begin in the name of God, the kind and merciful, to ask for special blessings on all the prophets, all the way from Adam to Noah, Abraham to Moses and Jesus and Muhammad. May blessings be on all of them. It's indeed a pleasure to be here in this second Aftar event by the York Region Police. And I would like to take this opportunity to commend the chief and the person behind the scene on this issue, Superintendent Ahmed, for the good work that they are doing. I think this is unique. I don't think there is any other, police force which organizes Aftar events to bring the different communities together and create this sense of peace and harmony among us. I have the pleasant task to talk about the role of fasting in self-discipline and moral integrity. At our center, we have many non-Muslim groups who come and visit, especially the high school students. And one of the questions which is very common is, why do Muslims fast? And that also for 1 month. And for the entire day, they stay hungry and thirsty. Some of these young people, they have an interesting way of asking questions. They say, are the Muslims all overweight? So they have to go through a mandatory dieting program. And no, Muslims come in all shapes and sizes, like any other, community around the world. When we look at the Quran, the verse which was revealed, where Almighty God makes it mandatory for Muslims to fast during the month of Ramadan, the verse ends with two words in Arabic, which explains the philosophy of fasting. Why? لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. And the simple translation would be that so that hopefully you will become pious. And the word tattaqun normally is translated as to be pious. But I would say a simple way of explaining that would be that by fasting, Almighty God wants to create this sense of consciousness of His presence in our life. And so that consciousness of God is basically the ultimate, purpose on a spiritual level as far as fasting is concerned. Let me explain this a little bit more. And nobody will see, but He is there. That training, the desire of food is there, the desire for drinking water is there, yet you suppress it. You control it. This is the training which is given to us once a year during the month of Ramadan. And I think, when you talk about police force, they can appreciate this more. And I challenge you, go and look at every crime which is committed. Or from the religious point of view, any sin which is committed. If you do psychoanalysis of that individual, you will realize that this person was overcome with the elements of desire or anger. Especially when we talk about, domestic violence, this is where the anger is taking over. And that balance has to be brought in, and this is where the month of Ramadan becomes very important for us. And I will just summarize it by saying that whenever a crime is taking place, or sin is taking place, it means at that moment, that individual didn't have the consciousness of God's presence in his life. If he knew about that, he wouldn't do this. I'll give you an example which I use even for my audience when I talk about this issue is of the police car. You go on a highway every day, same route. And, everybody speeds, we know that. Okay? But, because every day you go on the same route, under that bridge, there is a police car sitting with the radar. Automatically you see all the cars, when the reach close there, they slow down. That is consciousness of somebody who is watching you. This is what we are talking about, having this consciousness of God. Of course, I would say even the police are sometimes kind and merciful like him. I'm told the radar is set at 120 kilometers. I don't mean to say go and speak to them, but this is what I'm told, that police, they say 119 is fine, 120 is mine. So, I don't want to do that. The point is that, the concept of consciousness, this is what I would like to say. Consciousness of God is the element and power which controls our desire and anger. That is where we have reached within ourselves. I wish Premier Ford going tomorrow to Washington. If he can ask Trump to fast for the rest of the month of Ramadan, he will be able to control his desire to make our beautiful country the 51st state of the United States of America. It's this desire to have more and more and more. Well, you have to be, within the bounds of reason. Anyway, I don't want to be politician here. Let me end with a story, relevant to this, from the life of the Prophet, where once he heard, in his presence, he saw a lady verbally abusing her maid. And apparently she was fasting on that day. Everybody will agree that we as human beings have two sets of powers within us. One I would call the spiritual dimension, whether we call it soul or conscious or pure intelligence or reason. And on the other hand, we have the physical powers within us, which in the Islamic ethics we classify them into two very powerful elements known as desire and anger. In Islamic akhlaq, all the physical elements, we can bring them on a moral ethical level to these two categories of desire and anger. Now, desire, this is what is pushing us to seek whatever we perceive to be beneficial to us. And anger is that element within us which urges us to repel whatever we perceive to be harmful to ourselves. Now, these two elements, they are very necessary for our survival. However, if they are the only force within us, there will be total chaos and nothing else. And this is where we see that this issue of soul and conscience on one hand, desire and anger on the other hand, these are two necessary elements for our life on this earth. But there is a constant struggle between the two dimensions within us. And I said, even if you don't believe in God, just think about yourself. And you will see that, if the soul or the conscience is not powerful to control the desires and the anger, then there will be chaos there. Islam basically says that this constant struggle within us is there. It's part of life. Actually, that is life. The struggle within. And we have to constantly give more power to our spiritual dimension, not to totally suppress desires and the element of anger. We need that. But to control that and bring it within this consciousness of God's presence in our life. Islam basically believes that a successful human being is a person who controls, brings about this balance between these two elements of life. And this is where I would say that, the month of Ramadan for us is an annual training program to create that balance. What happens in Ramadan, I think what everyone knows here, we get up before the dawn time, have a pre-dawn breakfast, then we go through the whole day till sunset without food and drink. Not even drinking water is allowed at that time. And no sexual activities. These are the three, very powerful, elements of desires. And we are told to refrain from it for, 29 or 30 days, depending on the issue of moon cycle. When we deny ourselves, by midday, you start feeling hungry and thirsty. Especially if you are in the cafeteria at the school or your workplace. You can feel it more. Yet you resist that. Even if you're alone at home, there is money, there is food in the fridge. That's the story. So the Prophet asked somebody to go and bring something, simple fruit or something. And then he asked her, please, have this. And she says, oh, the Prophet of God, I'm fasting today. And he says, كيف تكونين صائما وقد سبقت جاريا? How can you be fasting while you verbally abuse your maid? And this is where you're taught that fasting is not only refraining from food and drink, it is controlling your desires and your emotions. May God, give us the opportunity to understand the philosophy of fasting, and may He always protect our country and keep everyone under His protection. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Marlana, for sharing your knowledge with us. Next, I'd like to welcome to the stage YRP Police Constable Aftari. So, after earning her degree in Human Services, I now join YRP as an auxiliary constable, where she spent 4 years and hundreds of volunteer hours supporting the New York regional community. She joined YRP as a police constable in 2023 and has been serving on the road ever since. She's here today to share her journey on becoming a hijab-wearing police constable at YRP. I just have to ask, due to the nature of her work, if you can please not record her or photograph her, it would be greatly appreciated. Due to the nature of her work. I'd like to invite to the stage Imam Ahmed Imtiaz. Imam Imtiaz has been the Imam for Beit al-Aslam in Bonn for the last 8 years and has been serving with the Ahmadiyya Muslim community for the last 16 years. He's also one of YRP's very own spiritual advisors. Tonight, he'll be speaking to us about Ramadan's call for social justice and compassion. Welcome, Imam Imtiaz.
Thank you, Radia. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم 6th century Arabia, a new religion, a new faith, Islam, emerges. And its founder, Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and his followers face severe persecution. They endure hardships, rejection, and opposition simply for believing in one God and calling for justice and equality. Eventually, the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, and his followers forced to leave their hometown, Mecca, and migrate to Medina, seeking safety and a fresh start. Upon arrival, the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, was greeted by the people of Medina. He met Jews, and he witnessed the Jewish community in Medina observing a day of fasting. Curious, he asked, why are they fasting? They explained that this is to commemorate the day God delivered Prophet Moses, peace be upon him, and his people from Pharaoh's tyranny. Upon hearing this, Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of God be upon him, stated, Moses was also close to us. So he started fasting, and to this day, it's called the day of fasting of Ashura. And he encouraged his followers to fast as well, establishing a deeper bond of shared gratitude and faith. This story from the early days of Islam reminds us that fasting is not just about personal sacrifice. It is a bridge that connects people across different traditions, a symbol of shared values, and a reminder that justice and compassion are universal. It teaches us that gratitude is not expressed through words only, but also through actions, and that standing in solidarity with others is an act of faith itself. Just as Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of God be upon him, recognized the importance of unity and solidarity, we too must recognize the power of coming together as community. It is in this same collaboration that we gather tonight, not only to share a meal, but to reaffirm our commitment to justice. And just as Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of God be upon him, honored the values of another faith, we too acknowledge and appreciate those who bring communities together with vision and leadership. guests, respected officers, faith leaders, and friends. In the Islamic greetings, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, peace and mercy of God be upon you all. It is a privilege to stand here before you this evening as we gather for this interfaith Aftar dinner. A moment of unity, a moment of reflection, and a moment of shared values. My gratitude goes to York Regional Police for fostering this spirit of togetherness and promoting dialogue between communities. In particular, I would like to thank my heartfelt gratitude and appreciation to the Chief of Police, Jim McSween, for your leadership and vision in building bridges between communities. Your commitment to inclusivity, understanding, and justice mirrors the very principles that Ramadan teaches us, principles that call for fairness, equity, and standing for what is right. Under your leadership, the York Region Police continues to set an example of how an institution can foster trust and harmony amongst diverse groups. So thank you so much. I also want to recognize the work of my brother, my friend, Inspector. It's hard for me to say because he's recently been promoted, Super Ahmed Salia. Thank you so much for your hard work. So tonight, as we break fast together, we reflect on the deeper message of Ramadan, a month that transcends mere abstention from food and drink. Ramadan is a time of renewal, time of self-discipline, and most importantly, it is a call for justice and compassion. It is a month that compels us not only to seek closeness to God Almighty, but also to serve humanity with greater empathy and generosity. Fasting in Ramadan is not just an individual worship. It is a powerful reminder of the struggles of those less fortunate. It teaches us to step into the shoes of the hungry, of the homeless, and the oppressed. The purpose of fasting is to become righteous, as outlined in the Holy Quran. And one of the requirements of righteousness is justice. Islam upholds justice as a core principle, as emphasized in the Holy Quran, chapter 5, verse 9. O ye who believe, be steadfast in the cause of Allah, be bearing witness in equity, and let not a people's enmity incite you to act otherwise than with justice. Be always just, that is nearer to righteousness. In another verse of the Holy Quran, God Almighty states, verily, Allah enjoins justice and the doing of good to others and giving like kindred. So justice in Islam is not confined to legal systems, but also extends to fairness in everyday life, in our homes, in our workplaces, in our places of worship, in our society at large. Obligation and to stand against injustice and uplift those in need. Ramadan is also a call to serve others. The Prophet of Islam, Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of God be upon him, stated once, a Muslim is one who loves for other what he loves for himself. Speaking about this profound teaching, practical teaching, the worldwide head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community has said, this is a golden principle given by the holy founder of Islam, peace and blessings of God be upon him. I believe that this simple and profound point, if acted upon, not just by Muslims, but by all people, is the means for everlasting peace in society. End of quote. It is a call to action to ensure that justice is not just a concept, but a lived experience for all. Compassion Compassion is the heartbeat of justice. It is what transforms laws into lived realities, what turns policies into meaningful change. The Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of God be upon him, was given this title by God Almighty, Rahmatul lil Alameen, who is mercy for all of everyone, all the worlds, and it is because of his kindness that extended beyond Muslims to people of all faiths and backgrounds. He cared for the poor, advocated for the oppressed, and taught that true faith is not measured by ritual alone, but by how we treat one another. Following his footsteps, the holy founder of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, we consider to be the promised Messiah and reformer of the latter days, mentioned the objective of his advent. He says, "Mera maqsood matlub tamannao khidmat-e khalqas hamikaram hamibaram hamirastam hamirahan." That is my purpose, my yearning and heartfelt desire is to serve humanity. This is my job, this is my faith, and this is my habit, and this is my way of life. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the essence of fasting. So as we share this meal together, let us take tangible steps to bring the lessons of Ramadan into our lives. Number one, advocate for justice in our workplaces by ensuring fairness, equal opportunities, and inclusivity. Number two, support local initiatives that address food insecurity, homelessness, and discrimination by volunteering time and resources. And number three, stand up against injustice by actively challenging discrimination, supporting policies that promote equity and inclusion. Ramadan teaches us that true spirituality is found in service to others. It reminds us that justice and compassion are not seasonal virtues, but lifelong commitments. Like tonight is not just being about breaking bread together, but about strengthening bonds of understanding and cooperation. Let us carry the spirit of Ramadan beyond this evening, ensuring that justice and compassion shape our communities, shape our policies, and shape our actions every single day. May this month be the source of blessings, unity, and renewed dedication to making our world a fairer, a kinder, and a just place. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Ramadan Mubarak to all.
Thank you, Mom, for your continued guidance. I need something. Up next, I'd like to call up YRP Police Constable Cam Malik. He started his career policing a 2-district and general patrol about 7 years ago. Cam has always had a passion for working with youth, and in 2022, he joined our Community Services Bureau as a Youth Engagement Officer. We're looking forward to hearing about youth engagement and YRP's commitment to the Muslim community from Cam.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I am honored to be speaking to you today during this blessed month of Ramadan. My name is Ramadhan Malik, and I serve as a Youth Engagement Officer with York Regional Police. Today, I want to talk about the work I do as a police officer and how I have strived to connect with the Muslim community, specifically in York Region. As a Youth Engagement Officer, my role is centered around connecting with young people and helping them understand the importance of community, respect, and responsibility. My job isn't just about enforcing the law. It's about building relationships and providing guidance to the next generation, especially youth who may face challenges or who don't always feel connected to law enforcement. I am dedicated to connecting with all youth across the region and actively participate in various community events, supporting cultural and faith-based activities to strengthen the relationship with diverse groups. I provide support and foster positive interactions at different religious institutions. Wearing the York Regional Police uniform also allows me to connect with the community I grew up in, creating an environment of trust and collaboration that benefits everyone. One memorable experience was attending the Youth Day event at the Islamic Society Aban Masjid. I was given the opportunity to speak to the audience, particularly the youth in attendance, and it was truly an eye-opening experience. To see the excitement and joy on their faces when they realized that I, as a Muslim police officer, was there to engage with them was truly incredible. It showed me how important representation is and how much of an impact it can have. It also gave me the chance to speak to them about what it means to be both a Muslim and a police officer, and how they too can contribute to making a positive difference in their communities. Through these experiences, I've been able to build trust, helping young people feel more comfortable and open to engaging with law enforcement, and perhaps even considering careers in policing in the future. Recently, I had the pleasure of attending a basketball game between the York Regional Police Team and the Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association in Newmarket. It was an exciting match, amazing sportsmanship from both sides. YRP came out on top with a buzzer beater finish, and I'm happy to share that another match will be scheduled soon. One of the most rewarding aspects of my role has been mentoring young Muslim adults who are interested in joining the police force. I've met many young adults at the Masjid Al-Abrar in Aurora and had the privilege of being invited to play basketball at the Islamic Society of York Region Stouffville Masjid. Though I have to admit my basketball skills are pretty weak, but it's through these experiences I've had the opportunity to guide and support young Muslims who aspire to become police officers. Why is this important? Because representation matters. It's crucial that we have police officers who reflect the diversity of the communities they serve. When young Muslims see someone like me in uniform, it can inspire them to pursue a career in law enforcement, a part of making their community a safer, better place. At York Regional Police, we pride ourselves on our core values: professionalism, compassion, fairness, respect, and courage. These values guide every action we take, and I strive to embody them in my day-to-day life. Being part of the Muslim community has reinforced the importance of these values. Islam teaches us to be kind, patient, and compassionate, and I have learned so much from our community about how to serve others with sincerity and modesty. These lessons align perfectly with my role as a police officer, and they help me build stronger, more trusting relationships within the community. What I truly appreciate is how York Regional Police has supported me in practicing my faith, from accommodating prayer times during my shift to respecting the importance of Ramadan and other religious obligations. The police service has been incredibly understanding and supportive. This has allowed me to serve with a sense of peace, knowing that I can honor my religious practices while also fulfilling my duties as a police officer. This level of respect and flexibility is something that I deeply value and feel proud of as part of this organization. Finally, I want to touch on a project that is very close to my heart: an upcoming 3-week soccer initiative with the male students from Batul Islam Mosque in Vaughan, and another 3 weeks with the female students from the Muslim Women of Vaughan organization. This initiative is not just about playing soccer. It's about building relationships, fostering teamwork, and providing a safe space for young Muslims to engage with each other in a positive environment. Sports offer a unique way to break down barriers. Through soccer, we can promote respect, teamwork, and mutual understanding, all while having fun. It's also a reminder of how important it is to support one another, especially during Ramadan, when community bonds are even stronger. Initiatives like this create opportunities for dialogue, and in turn, make it easier for young people to see police officers not as figures of authority, but as allies in their communities. In closing, I want to thank you all for allowing me to speak today. Serving as a police officer is not just about enforcing laws, it's about building trust, fostering respect, and creating a sense of belonging. I am proud to be part of York Regional Police and to serve the Muslim community. Let's continue to work together, support each other, and build a stronger, safer community for all. Ramadan Mubarak to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Cam, for sharing with us a little piece about what you do here at YRP. Next, I'd like to call up Sheriff Dizan. He began his Islamic studies at a very young age and memorized the entire Holy Quran by the age of 12. For those that don't know, it's 600 pages. It's a lot. I don't know what you were doing at 12, but that wasn't it for me. He has worked with the United Nations in humanitarian and relief efforts. Sheikh Dizan currently serves as the Imam and leader of the Islamic Society of Vaughan and is overseeing efforts aimed at serving both current and future generations of the Muslim community. He's here to talk about building a just and inclusive society through faith. Welcome, Sheikh Dizan.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers and sisters. Peace be upon you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with you. May Allah protect you all. May Allah keep us always together. The previous brothers and sisters were talking about justice and peace. Wallahi, I swear to God, I see justice and I see peace. We are sitting together. And alhamdulillah, all praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We love each other, we respect each other. What's more we need? We are ready to build a strong society. I would like to thank the Chief Jim Maxwell. Thank you so much for everything, for what you have done, for every single community, for your region, for Islamic Society of Vaughan and the Muslim community of Islamic Society of Vaughan. Thank you for your visit. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your help. Thank you for your advice, for everything. Thank you so much. Dear respected Brother Ahmed Sahi, thank you so much. You are the first police officer that I met and I contacted with. You have done a great job. You called me, you invited me, you said I would like to see everyone sitting together. I'd like to see Muslims, Jews, Christians, Buddhists, anyone from the community. I'd like to see Canadians sitting together. You have done that, and we saw that on March 3rd. Thank you so much. Thank you for your help. Thank you for your support. Dear respected brothers and sisters, I was ready to speak about the rules of Ramadan and the justice and everything, but mashallah, everybody covered everything. And there is no time, we have to break our fasting, you know? So I just wanted to say, we learn that as Muslims, from my childhood, we learn that we have to respect everyone. If you do not respect people, that means you are not a true believer. But God does not like those who are showing disrespect to people. Does not matter what type of people around you, does not matter. I'm going to give you some examples. Our leader, our religious leader is Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The neighbor of Prophet Muhammad was a Jew. And Prophet Muhammad used to help him and used to have a good relationship with him. When Prophet Muhammad migrated, the first migration from Mecca to Ta'if, there is a city called Ta'if, to call people, to tell them worship God alone with no partner. So, but what happened? The disbelievers there, they started punishing him and they stoned him. Who was the man who helped him? A Christian man. It's not just that. Before that, when Prophet Muhammad ﷺ made Jibreel, the angel Jibreel, and he was shaking and he went to his wife right away. His wife took him to her uncle or to her cousin, Waraqa ibn Nawfal. He was a Christian man. And he gave him the advice that you have to be patient. Some people will suffer you, some people will punish you, some people will disrespect you, but you have to be patient. And today you are alone, and tomorrow you're going to have a nation behind you. And that's what we see now. We learned that. We learned that from Prophet Muhammad. We learned that from the Quran. We are ready. We are ready to deal with every single one in this country. For a good cause, of course. We are ready to open our masjid, our mosque. And I am here to announce, based on the discussion that has done with my colleagues, may Allah be pleased with them, the brothers and sisters who are here. So we decided to make the first gathering for every single one. It's not just for Muslims. It will be after Eid dinner. We will invite all of you, my dear respected brothers and sisters, and we will be so happy to have you in our place. We would like to tell you our stories, and would like to listen to your stories. We would like to work together to help each other and to extinguish any conflict that could happen between us. We are one nation. We believe that belong to a man and a woman, Adam and Eve, and this is what God said, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ya ayyuhan nasu inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير. Thank you so much. Ramadan Mubarak to all of you, and may Allah be pleased with you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Aftari. I'm the superintendent here with York Regional Police assigned to Executive Services. I'm the senior liaison officer for this event. It really is a true honor to be here tonight, not just as a York Regional Police senior leader to don this uniform, but as a representative of the Muslim community. It's something that means a lot to me, and I'm very appreciative of this opportunity. 22 years ago, I can tell you when I started as a young officer, this wasn't a thing. Celebrating Ramadan as an organization, going out to the community to do Aftar, that was foreign to me. It wasn't foreign to me as a Muslim coming and growing up in Toronto, but as an organization, we've evolved so much in the last 22 years, as you all have come to see. And it really is a testament to the leadership over the several years in this organization. I know we thanked a number of people, but I do want to thank, probably going to repeat some of the thanks here. I want to thank the events team, May, Carrie, Melissa, Megan, Karen. You guys do such an incredible job. You have so many balls up in the air, and you're always smiling, and you're always doing this with grace. Thank you so much for all the work that you guys do. See Imam MTS and our wonderful MC, Rania. Last year we did this in 3 weeks. We planned it in 3 weeks. This year Rania was poking us in December, making sure that we were on it. So thank you for all your commitment and your leadership to that team. A couple of community partners that I really want to thank. My friend Rizwan Richmond from the Chapari Community Center. Where's Mr. Rizwan? There he is. And Aslam as well. The two of you guys have been, Aslam, I've known you for 10 years, Rizwan for about 2 years. Your leadership, your support, your perspective, and your insight, it's a big part of why we're here today, so thank you to the two of you. To the respected Imams, Imam Rizvi, Imam Asher, and Imam MTS, over the last 2 years as I've gotten to know you and worked with you for last year's Iftar and this year's Iftar, I'll tell you, brought me closer to God, and thank you for that. And I also want to really thank the leadership of this organization. Right from the top, we have representation from the board, Deputy Mayor, Vice Chair of the Board, Linda Jackson, Deputy Mayor Vaughn, Regional Representative, Mr. Latif. Thank you so much for standing here shoulder to shoulder with our Chief of Police, with the executive leadership team, with all the senior leaders in this room. Chief, I've said this to you before and I'll say it again. What we're seeing here, whether it's Ramadan, whether it's Hanukkah, whether it's Christmas, the celebrations that we do here is a true testament to your leadership. Thank you for engaging. Aftar, we're going to let everyone get seated. Some housekeeping items before we do that. There's going to be prayers for the men, for the brothers to the side here. You're going to see an auxiliary officer there who's going to direct you there. For the sisters, just through these doors, there's a prayer stage for you. And then anyone who's not praying can break the fast with the event, which is coming up very shortly. Food's going to be through that room right there. Again, there's going to be someone who's going to guide you in. And when everyone gets relatively seated again, we're going to play the keynote address, and we really appreciate your attention to that because it's a very powerful message on Islamophobia and hate. So thank you very much. And I can call up actually the name of the person reciting the intent. Mr. Ahmed Ediasi, a professor from York University.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا
Like I said, that was beautiful. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening and welcome. Before we get started, I just want to acknowledge that York Region is located on the traditional territory of many indigenous peoples, including the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, Huron-Wendat, and Métis peoples, and the treaty territories of the Haudenosaunee, Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, and Williams Treaties First Nations. Today, this area is home to many diverse indigenous peoples and we recognize their history, spirituality, culture, and stewardship of this land. We also acknowledge the Chippewas of Georgina Island First Nation as our closest First Nation community. Introduce myself, my name is Ramadhan, and I'm a project leader here at York Regional Police, and I'll be your MC for tonight. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us tonight. This is our second annual Interfaith Aftar dinner, and we have a great evening on hand. As you know, York Region is home to a beautiful array of people, cultures, and faiths, which YRP takes pride in representing and celebrating, and we are truly blessed to have you here celebrating with us tonight. Before we get started, I want to take a moment to acknowledge a few people that made tonight possible. Last year, I had a thought that we needed a way to celebrate and really highlight and acknowledge Ramadan at YRP in some way. So I made a call to Superintendent Ahmed Salia, and I said, hey, I think we should host an Aftar dinner here at YRP. Without hesitation, he said, say less. I mean, something to that effect. And he jumped into action. So thank you for helping turn a vision to reality and for being passionate in your drive community. A big thank you. A big thank you to YRP's amazing special events team, Karen Richards, Karen Rutledge, May Law Moore for really working through this, and Melissa is here tonight as well. We could not have done this without you, as well as our tech team and thank you to the rest of the planning committee, Detective Zabi Arai from our hate crime unit, Bibi Rashid, who's the civilian liaison for our intimate partner violence unit, and Imam Imtiaz, who is one of our spiritual advisors. I'd also like to thank our executive leadership, Deputy Chiefs Almeida, De Silva, Hammond, and Murtowski, and last but not least, Chief Jim McSweeney. So I've been here at YRP for over 18 years, and I'm so grateful to work in an organization where we can celebrate and embrace different cultures and faiths. And Chief, we're able to gather here tonight through your leadership and generosity. So thank you. And also, thank you for making sure to say my name correctly every time. And now with a few words of welcome from our host and our Chief, Jim McSweeney.
So good evening, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you all for being here. Truly an exciting night for us. As last year, as you've heard, was our first. I want to thank my good friend, Rania, for emceeing tonight. Rania, you're doing a great job. Let's have a hand for her. So welcome once again to York Regional Police Headquarters. It is truly an honor to host you all here this evening as we celebrate the holy month of Ramadan. I'd like to offer a warm welcome to some guests that are here, some real true supporters of YRP. Linda Jackson, the Deputy Mayor of the City of Vaughan and Vice Chair of the York Regional Police Services Board. Linda. As well as our board one of our newest board members for York Regional Police Service Board, provincial appointee, Latif Faisal. I want to thank you both for all you do for us and to the entire board for the support in putting on an event such as this. I'd also like to thank this evening's keynote speaker, Amira El-Gawabi, Special Representative on Combating Islamophobia of Canada. She's been active in countering hate and promoting inclusion, and she is the first person to hold this office, and now, more than ever, there's no doubt it is necessary and important role for our country and our entire community. She was not able to join us here in person today, but has graciously taken the time to record a message, which you'll hear a bit later. So I'd also like to recognize the imams who've taken the time to join us. Mulana Saeed Muhammad Rizvi of the Jafari Community Center. Nice to see you, sir. Thank you for being here. Imam Imtiaz Ahmed, representing the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, who is also our York Regional Police Chaplain. And Imam Asher Duzan of the Islamic Society of Vaughan. Obviously, wonderful to have you all here tonight. And lastly, I'd like to say a huge thank you. They were already recognized, but we could not put these events on without this entire team, members of the planning committee and special events team who made this evening possible. Let's have a big round for all of them. For York Regional Police, the significance of this interfaith Iftar dinner is twofold. It's an opportunity to open our doors to share a meal and break fast together. As you know, this month represents reflection, discipline, peace, and community. This evening is an opportunity to join together across faiths to celebrate our differences and to learn from one another. Just last week, we invited faith leaders from across the region to unite under the banner of York Regional Police in the launch of our only Interfaith Council, an initiative that we are committed to leading and enhancing for years to come. As we continue a dialogue around respecting one another, this Interfaith Council is about accountability on two fronts. One, for us as a police service, so that we remain accountable and in pursuit of new ways of enhancing our service delivery to diverse communities. But more importantly, this was an opportunity for us to put some of that shared responsibility back on our community as well. We asked them a simple yet powerful question. And it's the same one I pose to each and every one of you tonight. What can we do as leaders to make our community safer and bring people together? At a time when you all know when division often takes center stage, this gathering is a powerful reminder of our collective capacity to come together. As we break bread together this evening, I encourage you all to get to know those around you, to share stories and build lasting friendships. This is, as you've heard, our second annual Interfaith Iftar dinner here at York Regional Police. I'm truly grateful to see many familiar faces, because each of you, just by being here, is demonstrating your commitment to creating harmony and promoting inclusion in our region. Right now, and I know some in this room have heard me say this already, and for those who haven't, you will hear it loud and clear tonight. We're hearing a lot of noise about cutting policies and practices aimed at furthering initiatives around diversity, equity, and inclusion. And what I'll say to that is this, and I know this is shared by myself and all of our senior leadership: it's nonsense. At York Regional Police, we are steadfast in our commitment to promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion, and that will never change. Diversity is our strength. Diversity is truly our strength, and we're thankful every day that we get to serve one of the most diverse regions in this entire country. We will always work to ensure everyone feels welcome, safe, and secure here, because we know this leads to more trust, better service, and ultimately a region where everyone can thrive. I'm truly grateful for opportunities like this evening to be welcome, to break fast with you all, to learn more about your faith and the many traditions during this holy month of Ramadan. So thank you all for making today's event possible. Thank you for accepting this invitation into our home. Ramadan Mubarak. Thank you so much.